Okay, and this week the Democratic candidate in the United States, Bernie Sanders, he kind of took this one step forward. He was warning that climate change is actually linked to the war on terror. And just let's listen to what he said about that.
Climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism. And if we do not get our act together and listen to what the scientists say, you're going to see countries all over the world. They're going to be struggling over limited amounts of water, limited amounts of land to grow their crops. And you're going to see all kinds of international conflict. And I agree with much of what the Secretary and the Governor have said. But let me have one area of disagreement with the Secretary. I think she said something like, the bulk of the responsibility is not ours. Well, in fact, I would argue that the disastrous invasion of Iraq has unraveled the region completely and led to ISIS.
Mark Daly, there was the Oireachtas committee yesterday looking at this. Do you think that, did you talk about the war on terror or any? Do you think that's going a bit far?
Well, I mean, what I spoke yesterday about was the Holy Alliance between the Pope and the Pentagon. I mean, the range of people who are now calling for action and demanding action when it comes to climate change goes from St. Vincent de Paul here to the Governor of the Bank of England, who has said that there has to be action on climate change. Lloyd's Insurance Company has said that premiums will go up because of the effects of extreme weather. We have the issue of the Pentagon saying that, and it touches on what the candidate for the Democratic Party has said.
So we could be talking about water wars and the like.
Well, yeah, but what they're saying is that climate change is on a par in terms of a threat to humanity, on a par with terrorism. And we have the Pope issuing a statement. And like the thing about politics is, in politics, as we all know, the immediate takes precedent over the important. This climate change is the important, as quoted from one of the participants in the conference coming up, is that in Paris, this conference will decide who lives and who dies. You know, China is involved and is now engaged because life expectancy in China has dropped by 5 years because of pollution. So what we see around the world is that the countries and the leadership is now in place in China, and the US have put together their own agreements. But what we need in Paris is not to be pessimistic or not to be optimistic, but to be determined, because what is currently on the table, the numbers that are being proposed by the leaders of the world are not enough, are simply not enough. And if we don't take action now, action later is too late. And that's how serious it is. But unfortunately, when you're trying to get agreement from 196 countries, that is a huge challenge. We're at the 21st attempt at this.